So this script, I'm going to actually start launching here. It's going to run. Let me walk you through it. It logs into our vendor's website, so the pop. Puts in, I've actually pre-programmed to put back a month minus 4 days, so here it'll come back to 7/20, which I think is a month ago, and then 8/16, so it's 4 days from today earlier, because I don't want to have email campaigns that are too recent in my report. And then it actually clicks execute, and then waits for it to load. So we're waiting for the Silver Pop website to actually load the data. Once this populates, it then exports this and saves it and opens it in Excel, and so you'll see IE closes, Microsoft Excel opens, and then it imports that file, and then it starts manipulating it. It's getting rid of cases that had no contacts for tests and seed lists. It automatically drops them out, so they're not in there, because we wouldn't want to have that in any of our analysis, because they're not actual email campaigns. And then it goes through, and it uses a regular expression to read the mailing name and breaks out the business unit, the unique identifier, the region, language, type of campaign, date it was scheduled to be sent, and then actually I don't break out the descriptive, this last little bit here, because we don't use it in our metrics, but that could be done. I just didn't include that. And right now it's going through and so it's categorizing those, creating those variables, and then on this worksheet it'll compute it looks at the total people who received the email and computes the open rate, click rate, and ratio. And then then the really cool thing is it looks up, it rolls them all up globally by business unit, by campaign type, by language, by region, and by unique identifier, because this way we can use the same campaign to go around the world but still count as one campaign. And so it breaks out there, and then it uses the region variable to break them into different work tabs and rolls them up that way. So in a second here, you'll see it's also, by the way, it's hyperlinking these back to our SharePoint website. So if I click this link, which I will do later, it will open up, actually it won't, because I'm on my home computer, but it would open up our SharePoint site with the email campaign, so people could read more about that campaign that they had set up. So once that's done, and I think it's getting pretty close to done to this page, the rest of the script is fairly quick in breaking out, aggregating the data. And on the aggregates I do is I'm using a sum if function. So it also automatically loops through the different campaign types, the different regions and languages, and automatically detects if there's, simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, and if it is, then it rolls it up. If there's none there, it doesn't include it in the output. So it's smart in that I don't have to program, we have a new one. It'll detect that and actually break that out for me, which saves me time, and I don't have to worry so much about making sure there were no changes. Let me see if I can get us a little more space here. Okie dokie. And obviously also, so I've frozen the panes here. And let me see if I can arrow open without breaking anything. So these are the business unit, unique identifier, the region, language. Right now, actually, I also have it. Oh, it's in those fields. Sorry. In here, it was like these ACC, so you just saw it's doing string replaces to make it a more user-friendly abbreviation. So someone who doesn't work in this day in, day out, it'll be a lot easier for them to understand what the campaign type is. And now we're finishing up this file, and so now it's breaking out the globals, and you'll see it goes through and it's doing the variables here, and it does the sum ifs across the business units first, and then actually it rolls it all up, so we have an idea of how many were completely done. And for some reason it's going slower than normal, but I guess because I'm recording the video. And so it has the received, opened, clicks. The ones following that will be a lot quicker. After it finishes the clicks here, these should be a lot faster because it's not doing a sum if. So these are just calculating the open click rate ratio given this data. And then it also tells me how many campaigns on the other sheet were classified as these things. So there were 13 that were not coded. So there were 13 rows on the other spreadsheet that, for whatever reason, didn't get coded. Even though 13 out of 170 is a significant amount, it's still only 32,000 people. So it wasn't a big number as far as of the volume set. So here's the business units. And then we have the, so it goes through and does this for the type of campaign. And here, like LIS is listening campaign, which when I did the string replace, I didn't see that before, so I need to add that. Calculate the stats on that. And then it's going to calculate the number of sends. And then it goes through with region, which there's 4. And it's also, let's say, like listening campaigns, because I didn't have that before. If I had told this to start at row, let's say 31, but then a new one pops up here, this would look kind of bad. So what I've done is I've told it to build this, then look for the next available row. Okay, skip that row, start on the next one. So it's dynamic in that if the number of things that are in there change, it's smart enough to know to insert it further down the line. And obviously the formatting and everything too really helps it make it easy to read for people. And once it does the first one for region, I'm going to pause the recording because the languages, which you can see, it's interesting, but the one after language, the unique identifier, there'll be probably 100 of those, and that would probably take a while on this to run. So I'm just going to pause it for a second, and when I start it back up, you'll see there's a language there, but then it's going to add the other tabs. It'll just run one tab. The Americas is the first one, so you can see what that looks like. But it's all automated, building it, and actually I think I can click in here. Oh, and I also have it putting in, you saw the comment pop up there, probably, right? It's doing a lot of stuff here, so it's not wanting to pop up. But I have, I've inserted comments to explain what some of these are to make it, again, user-friendly. And if I click in here, you can see the sum if, and it's telling it to look into what column, look for the data, and look for this text not coded for that one. So that it's actually piping in the formulas. It's not calculating the data, it's piping in the formulas and letting Excel do the heavy work of actually going and doing it. So, sorry, I missed it. So we've done the region, then we did language. So I'm going to pause it real quick, and when you come back, this will be finished. Okay, so this is just finishing up in the last one, and as I mentioned, there's, I'm not sure how many, but there's quite a few in this one, which I thought it was going to jump to very quickly, but, actually, it did speed up when I hit pause, so the resources being used for recording the video, I think, is slowing it down. So you can see there's a significant amount here. There it goes. That's awfully slow. And then, like I said, so then when it finishes that, it will automatically add a new tab, and also the color coding, so these are all yellow, and the tab is actually colored yellow, and you'll see in Americas, I think it's blue, but it just helps tie it all together. Yeah, there we go, something blue, and once we do the first one, I'll just show you how the sum if formula, so it didn't have any that it didn't code for the Americas region, and here it's piping in this complex formula at first glance, but really it's pretty simple. And so here, if you notice I toggle between here and here, the only thing that's going to change is this corporate is going to change to DLP, because the range is all the same. The only thing that changes is what it's actually looking for, and then it puts the numbers there, calculates all the other data, it's going to put in the counts here, and the again, so it's frozen the top rows, and it's put the underline here. I thought about putting in a text box to help wrap it all together, but I don't think that's actually necessary. And then we come down here, so it does the business units, and then it'll do the campaign type. and then it goes through and does it for the other 3 regions, which I'm not going to include this because this video is already too long. But anyway, that's how you'd appreciate seeing that. Thanks.